Hey guys, how are you? Gosh, it's been like 2 weeks since I've been live in here. Sorry about that. I'm going to revamp the group and I'm going to start going live every week on a day that more people can get in here. But I wanted to jump on here now because there's been a lot going on. I got the group coaching coming up and we're moving. So right now I'm sitting on the floor in a very empty room, very sweaty, and I'm going to talk to you about not worrying. And then I'm going to answer questions about that. And if anybody has questions on worrying, I'll answer that. Anybody has questions on group coaching, I'll do that as well. But for those of you that are going to watch and jump on later, I'm going to make sure this is a very good topic of discussion. Hi, Laura. Hi, Rebecca. How are you? How's the washing machine, sister? Laura, hello. I see you liking some old videos. I love when I see people looking through the content. This is like video number 52 in this group, so there's a ton of good content in here. And I like when I see people checking it out. I hope you guys take notes and learn. Grr, Rebecca says. Hey, Michelle. So what are you guys currently worrying about? Do you have worries in your lives? I'm curious. Happy Sunday, Sue. Good to see you. What kind of worries? I look exactly like your cousin. You must have one handsome cousin. I'm just kidding. He's probably okay. He's probably okay looking at best. Hi, Jody. Okay. So, I'm fried today. I've been moving nonstop. Oh, Michelle, you've got a few, sister. So a lot of you guys have health worries, right? A lot of you worry about your kids. You worry about, your bills. You worry about your jobs and all that kind of stuff. And we program ourselves to think that worrying is this useful tool, and it is not. It's an awful, awful tool because it wastes time. It takes time away from the things that you're actually trying to do in the first place, the things that you're worried about in the first place. So if you're worrying, you're using up your time for something that hasn't actually even happened yet. And the thing is like we take that first feeling that oh, I have this thing due, this bill due, this person might get hurt, whatever, something like that. And we take that feeling and then we get lost in it. And if you guys find yourself stuck in a thought loop, you know that you're not using your mental capabilities. You're not using your consciousness. You're consciously observing your subconscious mind. Any kind of loop like this, it's, oh, my kid's learning to drive and I'm worried that they might get into an accident. What if they don't call me? And what if that, and it just keeps going and going and going. Rebecca says, I find myself not worrying more, but more excited for what the days ahead bring. I like this. Even the daily BS doesn't bring me down. Jesus, sister, you are awesome. I can't wait till you send me a video testimonial of take your time. You seriously though, you're an inspiration. I really appreciate you being in here still. And Michelle's got it. You don't take anything too seriously. So if you notice this is you have to pay attention to your life and pay attention to your thoughts. And when you get stuck paying attention to the same thing, right? It's just this bill's coming up and I'm not sure how I'm going to pay it because we only have this much money and I don't know if I'm going to make my quota this month and there's this and there's when you're stuck there, you got to take a breather. You got to press pause, do the pause breath and break the loop. You got to stop the pattern and stop worrying because you're worrying about something that hasn't even happened yet. And all this worrying, all this thought is negative energy. So essentially you're kind of hoping for the worst in a sense. You're expecting the worst, right? But you're not able to plan. And if you do plan and you're worried, you're taking away from your energy and you're taking away from your intelligence as well. Because you're easily 30% smarter if you're happy than if you're sad or stressed or whatever it is. So if you're worrying, you're taking away from the ability to not be, you're taking away from the ability to plan appropriately. So anybody that has ever seen the show MacGyver, and I think they brought it back actually. I have no idea if it's good at all. But if anybody's seen the show MacGyver, you got this guy in the show who they'd lock in a room and a bomb is going to go off, and he'd find like a toothpick and some tin foil and a piece of gum, and somehow he would like disarm the bomb with that, or he'd create like an explosive that would like blow the door off, and he just never worried. He's using all of his brain power. So if you guys are going to MacGyver your way out of the worst situations, you have to learn how to let go of worry. Right? And I'll give you some tips on how to do that today as well. But this is actually going to be a big topic in the group coaching, because it's a big topic with all of my clients, because everybody that suffers from anxiety has some kind of worry problem, or they have a guilt problem, which is just kind of the past tense of worrying. Laura says she's the biggest worry wart. Well, you're definitely in a club of worry warts. There's a lot of people in here that are struggling with worrying, but gosh, I wish I could. I can't think of her name off the top of my head, but she was very worried, and she was in this group for a while about her son driving, and she let it go. And much like a lot of people that get better, they leave the group. That's perfectly fine by me, because that's just my goal. But when you're worrying, you should be asking yourselves, what could I be doing? What should I be doing right now? And if your answer is, well, I should be worrying about this because I care so much, then I have to help you with the definition there, because there's a very big difference between worrying and caring. You see, I care about my kid being safe in the car, so I buckle him up nice and tight in that car seat, and he's good to go, right? But if I was worried about him in the car, I wouldn't be paying attention as much to the driving at hand, to the other cars around me, or maybe him talking to me or something like that. Worrying is taking away from the thing that you really care about the most. So caring is planning appropriately. It's doing everything you can, right? Well, what's the other side of that? What about when you can't do something? Anybody know what you should do when you can't do anything about it? I'm really dehydrated. I'm going to take a big drink here. Somebody tell me, what should you do if there's nothing you can do about it? All right, I should have brought 2 of these. Let it go, Laura. That's right. Let it go. Accept it. You got it. And then you say, how do I do that? Practice. Practice. Don't take it seriously. That's right, Michelle. And you really just have to practice it. But it's hard to practice something that you're not practicing. You get stuck in a loop. You have to interrupt the pattern. You can look these up. Pattern interrupts. And that's why I teach the breathing. The breathing is so very important, to just and then make a decision. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Saw my Grams be a worry wart. Was horrible. Refused to get that way. Constantly telling her it's okay. You see, Sue, like sometimes in our lives we have parents or grandparents or family members that are horrible, horrible examples. But somehow we learn, oh, you know what? I would not want to be like that. That's not how I'm going to be. And other times we emulate their behaviors and we don't realize it, right? There's a lot of guilt in my family, a lot. You have to practice and believe your new thoughts. Rebecca's right. So, a lot of things we worry about: our health, our children, our spouse, our parents, our taxes, what others think about us. I'm still guilty of this sometimes. Let's see. But see, worrying about nothing, worrying about having nothing to worry about. This is something that I see a lot too, especially in my one-on-one clients. This is like, it's essentially every single one that I help. We get better, we get better, we get better. And then it's like, but everything's good. Like that doesn't feel right. And it's like, you're addicted to worrying. You feel like it's just, it needs to be this mental process. And a lot of people that suffer from anxiety or don't know that they're suffering from at least mild anxiety can't just sit there and enjoy. And they're addicted to thinking. They're addicted to worrying, stressing. And we have to break these habits. They're horrible, horrible addictions. What else do I got for you guys? Yeah, if you can do something, do it. If not, let it go. Makes no sense if you can't do anything about it, right? So, this is good. So worrying and guilt and, a lot of symptoms of anxiety, what they're doing is taking you out of the present moment, right? Singing the same note. If you're if you're worrying, you're not where you're at right now. So for instance, like we're moving, right? And if we're worried about getting all of our stuff out of here on time, we're worried. We're not in the present moment packing our stuff up and making sure that we have enough space to put it all in and enough boxes and tape and time and all that kind of stuff. And if we're thinking, oh my gosh, do we have this? Do we have that? We're taking away from the real work that we need to be doing, which is just essentially the busy work of packing and getting everything the heck out of the house. Enjoy the silence, Rebecca says. It's so good to enjoy it. And that's something you got to practice too. Sue says, creating worry about everything and nothing, then realizing they never come to pass. That's like such a big one too. How many of you guys worry about stuff and then it just never, it's like, never happens? You worry that, I don't know, you're going to get audited by the government. Hi, Penny. You worried that you're going to have a bad time somewhere. You're worried that you might break something or do something wrong. James, good to see you, brother. I'm doing well. I'm always well. I choose to be well. Michelle says all day, quit it. Ay. So what it's doing is taking you out of the present moment. And as Sue and I and a lot of you know, I know Rebecca's hitting on this as well, is that there's nothing to worry about in the present moment, right? There's nothing to worry about. I mean, unless you're presently standing on a nail, but there's nothing to worry about there. It's like time to take the nail out, right? You could be worrying about tetanus as you're trying to take the nail out. That's pretty useless too. Oh, this is good. All right, so there's an old saying. And this saying says, I'm an old man with many troubles, most of which have never happened. So this is just going exactly with what Sue says. Tammy says, I worry about being dizzy all the same time and my legs feel weak. And that's a question, I guess. So here's the silliest thing that I see, and it's the most common thing, and you can see how your worries are actually asking for the problem to happen. You guys with that suffer from a lot of the physical symptoms of anxiety, the heart rate, the dizziness, the panic attacks. When you worry about having a panic attack, how many of you guys have worried about having a panic attack and then actually brought the panic attack on because you're thinking about it, and then your heart starts beating a little faster, right? Mine beats like a beat. So your heart starts beating faster, then you notice your heart rate going up, and you're like, oh, I'm worried that people are going to notice, or I'm worried that I'm about to have a panic attack. And then you start hyperventilating, you get dizzy, as Tammy's saying, and boom, you can have a panic attack. So Michelle says, I don't know. Tammy, what I would say, especially for dizziness, is what do you think dizziness is, right? It's lack of oxygen to your brain. Your legs feeling weak, same thing, lack of oxygen. How often are you doing my pause breath? How often are you deep breathing? How much exercise do you do regularly? How much water are you drinking? How much booze are you drinking? How much caffeine? How much crappy food are you drinking? Are you making crappy food smoothies and drinking them? I told you I'm a little out of it right now. Laura says I do that in the car, especially being a passenger. So Laura's like the backseat driver, right? You got a lot of these people. I do the same thing. I do it to my wife, my poor wife. I have to shut up. I'm like, slow down, speed up, turn left, go over here. Stop. Do you see the truck? See the truck? See the truck? She's like, shut up. That's what I do. I got to be quiet. Let the driver drive, right? You're nice and safe. You just tighten that seatbelt up really good. Michelle's telling Tammy, you're focusing too much. That's right. Michelle's come a long way in the last couple of weeks. These symptoms, they are not to be taken seriously. We're not to take anything seriously, but okay, this is perfect. Thank you, Michelle and Tammy, right? So you have symptoms, you have physical symptoms, right? Go to the doctor. Doctor says, you're fine, you're perfect. You have the body of a 12-year-old. And you're like, okay, thank you, doc. That's weird, but thank you very much. You need to accept that. And the next time the symptoms come up and you go, oh my God, why did my eye twitch? You go, well, you know what? The doctor said I was okay. So maybe I'm just twitchy-eyed now, and that's fine. And I'm just going to live with that. You have to. How? Trying and practicing over and over and over again. Just keep practicing. Keep feeding into the good. Be the person you want to be. Practice that regularly. I did a thing in the group, and I'm going to do it again one of these days. Maybe we'll do it again tomorrow, and you guys will have front row seats to this here, right? I know Rebecca had fun with this, and it was something that I said, like, today I want you to act like you're the happiest person that you know. And don't let anybody throw you off from it. Just keep doing it. You're acting. This is your big audition, right? And if you act like that and keep acting like that, you will become that. You see these actors that have these mental breakdowns, and you see the ones that essentially become enlightened. Like Jim Carrey, he's not a crazy person. I mean, he's crazy, but he's not out of his mind. Gosh, yes, he is. He's out of his mind. How do I say this the right way, Sue? He's like an enlightened person, right? So I took acting in college for a year before I thought I need a pre-medicine degree and a biology degree so that I can go out and make money. What the heck was I thinking? I should have kept with acting. But when I was acting, I played this character one time where I was just a completely different human being from me. I played this big, old 7-foot black guy, and I was like, and I'm Southern, and I'm huge, and I'm like 70 years old, and it was just like the furthest thing from what I was used to acting like. And the more I was acting like it, the less I like felt like me. And when you act the way that you want to be, you'll detach yourself from the thing that you don't want to be. So you wanna beat anxiety, act calm, and give it a shot for a while. Act like nothing worries you. You know, a lot of you worry-warts in here, you attract the calm types. I know a lot of them. A lot of my clients have the most calm, relaxed husbands that when they hit the pillow, they go, boom, right to sleep. Nothing ever gets them. Nothing ever bothers them. And I'm like, just act like him. Just pretend like you're like him, like you just don't care. Just, leave the water running here and there, or leave your socks on the floor, or whatever it is, and just act like that and try to feel it. So the old saying, just like to Sue's point, I'm an old man with many troubles, most of which have never happened. We want to switch this saying, and other than James right here, the rest of you are women watching right now. So you can say old woman, but don't. Say, I refuse to waste my life, to give up my time, filling it up with worry. Every time you start to get worried and you're like, I'm not sure if my mom was going to, my mother-in-law said this, and I don't know when I'm going to pay the next bill. No, I refuse. See, Tammy says, that's my husband. Isn't that amazing? That's a lot. Just say it. I refuse to waste my time worrying. I refuse it. I'm not going to fill my time up with worrying. I'm going to fill it up with good thoughts, positive thoughts, calming thoughts, whatever it is that you want. James says, I've been managing to deal with my panic attacks recently, making some great progress, staying positive in my mind. James, I am just happy to see you in here, but I'm really, really happy, brother, for you to say that. That's excellent. Keep up the good work, dude. I hope it's not just because life is easy right now, because I'm laughing for myself right now. That's not what you want. You want to be able to learn how to deal with this in the roughest times. But I'm proud of you, man. Keep up the good work. Sue, to my Jim Carrey point, he comes off crazy because so many of us aren't in tune with ourselves. Freaks people out when being awake, aware, conscious sometimes. It's a lack of knowledge. It is. Very much is. He is. I mean, he's crazy because he's Jim Carrey, though, you know? That's my Jim Carrey faces. I can make some more. All right, so Penny says, me too, Michelle. I think it's because we're not used to being calm. That's right. You got to practice calm, guys. Practice calm. What's the cure for anxiety? Calm. Calm. It's just not easy to practice. It's not a natural thing to be, for most people anyway. We're all like neurotic and stuff. Work. I literally can't stand Sundays because of work and what lies ahead. So see, like your whole Sunday gets ruined, Michelle, because all you're doing is thinking about work. And I remember this because when I was in med device sales, I would, I'd be up at 5 o'clock Monday morning, and I'd be going all out every single day, 12 hours, 14 hours a day until Friday night. And then sometimes I was doing like educational dinners over the weekend or something like that. But I remember like once like 3 or 4 o'clock hit on Sunday, all I would be thinking about is work. and it stressed me the heck out. And it's like, when the heck do I have weekends? When do I have vacation? I remember I did work all during our honeymoon. It's just ridiculous. It's so stupid. Ugh. I don't do it anymore. Hi, Crystal. Don't let it waste your Sunday. Say, I refuse to let this take up my time. I refuse it. Work is for Monday. That is not my life. That's just some money thing that I do for money. Something that I do for money. All right, Rebecca says, sometimes I get the panic attack, but soon as it's over, I feel stronger, like 100% better. You still get panic attacks, Rebecca. Interesting. I'm like, so like half of me is actually really surprised that you have panic attacks still. The other half is impressed with how awesome your attitude is, considering you get panic attacks sometimes. Let me just throw this out there. So I'm doing a contest every month. From now on, I'm giving away 2 coaching sessions. And for those of you who have talked to me for more than a half hour on the phone, I can change your lives in one conversation. So what I'm going to do is throw a contest every month, and it's going to be the same contest every single month. And then what I'll do is like an earlier in the month call and then like a follow-up call at the end of the month. So it'll be essentially like a miniature coaching session. It's going to be awesome. So how to win the contest. I need to see you guys working the way that I'm just going to throw this out there, like Rebecca works in this group. Like Rebecca is very positive and puts positive spins on things and comments on things. And a lot of you gals that are watching this right now comment a lot, and that's really, really good. We have to keep each other motivated, and we have to keep ourselves motivated and keep ourselves accountable. So that's what it's going to be. And I actually can do group insights and see who does like the most comments. And then I can go through, and I read everything. I mean, it's rare that if I miss a comment, it's because it didn't pop up for me as an alert as of right now. I can still manage a group with 500 people, so we'll see what it's like when it doubles. But the contest is whoever is being the best light in the group, helping the complainers turn things around and spreading the most positivity like Sue does very, very often in this group. Whoever does the most every month. So for the month of May, whoever does it gets 2 free coaching sessions with me in June. It sounds pretty good, right? Let's see. Yes, I totally believe you can about changing people's lives with calls or a post. You will find it. LOL. I don't know which one. Am I finding the good stuff or am I changing lives with posts? I'm trying to. It's hard. It's hard to really make them impactful. Video is much more impactful. What else do I have for you? Your concerns, the things you care about. Yes, okay, so we all care about things, right? Things that require certain preparation, or kids, or, I don't want to say that we care about bills. We care about having food on the table and things like that. But these things, if they're controllable, then we have a lot to do with them in the present moment, right? Presently, what can we do? And we have to always pull ourselves. We got to Eckhart Tolle this thing and really pull ourselves right into this present moment, because there shouldn't be any worry there. If we're paying attention to our kids, if you're worried about your kid, then spend time with your kid, right? You're worried about your bills, then work. And then if you can't work because it's Sunday, then let it go and just say, make some notes. I take notes all the time. I'm always writing things down, because as big as my head is, there's not enough room up there for stuff. So I put it on the shelf. I have a notebook next to my desk so that if I'm ever not too tired and I have a dream or a thought while I'm sleeping or laying there, I can write it down and I let it go and go right back to sleep. The star student, Michelle says. That's right. I should put it. I'm going to change the banner and just put like a little star student. You get a gold star and like $700 worth of coaching from me easily. I actually asked my kid today, this is Michelle, what I can change to be a better mother. I believe that's a very good thing to ask. Careful with that one, because she's a chip off the old block, isn't she, Michelle? She might get you doing some things that maybe you shouldn't be doing. Well, Mom, you'd let me have a beer once in a while. And you're like, oh, okay. No, I'm just kidding. Although, I mean, I was drinking when I was like 12, or 10. Anyway, so what did I hear? I was listening to Wayne Dyer, one of his books earlier today, and this got me thinking. So when you're worried, it's a fear, and it immobilizes you. It holds you back from Michelle's daughter said that she's perfect. That is beautiful. That's wonderful. There you go. She loves you. She loves you so much. Fantastic. Listen, worrying is fear. It's immobilizing. It's keeping you from doing the things that you want, or it's keeping you from doing them to the full potential. A lot of us use worry to try to incentivize us to get going. I'm worried about the test, so I'm going to study more. But you're taking away from your intelligence. You're taking away from your power, your abilities. You got to let it go. It confines you. It makes you more closed-minded. And then here's how it's very, very much related to anxiety. It puts you back into a safe zone. When you're worried about things, you decide to avoid that full-on worry. You decide to avoid taking that first step, the second step, or whatever it might be, taking that plunge, starting a new job, asking for more money, standing up for yourselves, whatever it is. That worrying, it puts you into a horrible, closed little box, and that's your secure zone. And then I see this very regularly where someone has one phobia and they get worried about something else. They get worried about having panic here. They get worried about panic here and panic here. And before you know it, they have nothing. They can't do anything. I mean, that's essentially what agoraphobia is, right? Like you get so stuck you can't even get out of your house. And then I've helped people even further than that, people that have been stuck in one room of their house or around a piece of furniture, or only with one person. They can do anything in the world as long as they have their husband or their boyfriend around. But then when that person leaves, panic, boom. All right. Real quick, group coaching announcement. I wanted to start in 2 days, but it's hectic for me to do that right now. And I've had a few people now reach out to me. You know who you are. That won't have the money in time, so I want to make sure that everybody that wants to be a part of it can gather up the money. So I'm going to push it ahead about a week, but I'll keep you guys posted on it. It'll also give me more time to make more videos for the group. I'm making an entire course from start to finish, all the tools that you need, not only just to beat anxiety, but really just to have much more presence and peace and happiness in your life and be able to share that kind of stuff with other people. And it's really making me step my game up, so I'm excited to do it. And I'm also getting interviewed by Jenny, who just submitted a nice video review for me. She's got a lot of followers, and we're going to talk about my methods for helping people with anxiety. So that's going to happen this week. And if we even get 1 or 2 people in there and they get better from this group coaching, then putting it off for another couple of days was totally worth it. So I'm very excited to do that. I'll let you guys know what time that's going to be. And if I can do anything for y'all, let me know. Michelle, I'm going to pin that comment. I'm not really sure it has much to do with what we're talking about with worrying, but I like it. Stand up for what you believe in, or stand for nothing at all. I don't usually talk to people like that. I used to. I'm more sensitive now because people with anxiety, I don't want to shoo them away, and I do almost every day because I'm a little too stern. Like I'll give homework, like read my ebook and give me your feedback. And they'll say, okay, I read it. Now do a free call with me, and I say, tell me about the ebook. And thank you, Sue. And then they won't have anything to say, and I'll say, well, if you can't help yourself, there's no way I can help you, and then I'll never hear from them again, and that's okay. Or I'll hear from them in a month, and they'll say, you know what, I kind of got this thing now where I realize that I do need to do stuff for myself, or I'm not going to get better, and I'm like, that's it. That's it. This is like, that's why I coach. I can't do this stuff for you. Although I do consider myself a bit of a miracle worker, but it's more in getting into people's heads and showing them what they're not looking at or helping them see something. But I can't, and I understand things. I see things. I feel things. I see you. I feel you guys. But I can't fix anybody. I can't change anybody. They got to do that themselves. So, getting amped up for group coaching, and this is going to be a heck of a week. It's going to be fun. Lots of new stuff coming. If I can do anything for you guys, let me know. Enjoy your Sundays. Enjoy your families. Enjoy yourselves, most of all. I love you, all of you. Be well. And let it go, and